Hola, hola. We are live as promised. Let me make sure I go live over here on Instagram. Let me make sure I see my comments over there. Let me see. Let me type in the description on Instagram. Post. Okay. So I think let me make sure I'm pinned. Hey, my Madison. Let me see. Wait a minute. Hold on. I hit the wrong button. Okay, so let's see. Pin. Okay. So I'm not in my regular spot. Hold on. I want to make sure. Can you see and hear me? That's the first thing. Because I freaked out. Remember, if you were here last week, I freaked out because I'm like, folks can't hear and see me. So that's the first thing. Y'all know how we do. Let's make sure that you can hear and see me, and I'm out there live in the universe. So just make sure. Yes and yes. Hey, my Julia. Okay, so that's all I need to know. Let's get started. Let's get cracking. So for those of you who are new, first of all, welcome to the very first, hey, Dr. Tawana, very first, what we're calling Newsjack City. And let me just tell y'all, you had to be a certain age to really appreciate that play on words. And okay, so my Facebook, the people are saying my Facebook users are what I'm seeing in the contents. Hey, Black Diamond. So I'm live on Instagram. I'm live over here. So can you talk? I'm talking a mile a minute because I'm so freaking excited. But I have been sitting on this concept of Newsjack City for about 5 years. And as I was getting ready, can't hear you. Wait. Madison, can you hear me over there? I want to make sure over on Instagram. Can you hear me? As I was, studying headlines last week, or it dawned on me like, wait, I want to always make sure I can see here too. So as I'm working on headlines last week, it dawned on me that wait, this is Newsjack City. This is what I do for Newsjack City. This is essentially, so you know what? Sometimes God has to backdoor you, has to backdoor you because, like, he had laid out what Newsjack City it was and everything, and I'm like, wait, this. And so I'm laughing because finally it is out there in the world, Newsjack City. We are in our first phase. There's layers to this of the vision he's given me. So if you are new, okay, so I'm heard on Instagram. If you are new to me, let me just briefly introduce myself. I am TJ Mercer, and I am an unapologetic, loud and self-will graduate of the Howard University. But for your purposes, what you need to know is I spent 30 years, nearly 30 years, not quite 30 years yet, working on some of the biggest TV shows in TV. So if nothing else, I know media, and which is why my hashtag is I suck at a lot of things, but media ain't one. And I'm actually in LA right now, and I'm spending the day with one of my dear friends who, let me tell y'all something. Can I just brag for a minute? Let me just brag for a minute before we get into these headlines. Like, this woman is so beast. You will never see a picture of her on the internet. She is one of the power players behind Hollywood. And she's one of the people that's in my ear guiding me. She's so dope that not only does she have her own plane, but folks send their planes to come pick her up. And so I'm spending the day. This is my first time at her house. We've been friends for many, many years, but this is my first time hanging out at her house. And let me tell you, this thing is freaking incredible. Like, the view. She's in the Pasadena Hills. And so we've been hanging out, and she's been like just pouring into me, loving on me. But I told her, like, I don't want to say her name because she's one of those people who just, you would never know. She's so humble. She's so brilliant. Like her nameplate on her desk here says intellectual badass. That's her nameplate, and she lives up to that. But she's one of those power people. Y'all know knowing that you can't find nothing on her on the internet. But the people who need to know who she is does. And for some reason, I'm very fortunate and blessed to have friends that they trust me. Because when you get to this level, folks become very guarded in their space. But God, the way God has built me, it's like he gives me the keys to disarm it so that these particular power people know they can trust me, that whatever they tell me, it stays with me, or I'll get their permission to share without their name. So, yeah, it has been a wonderful day. So, but I told her, like, I got to go live. I got to be there for my people to, put it out there to serve my people, because it is Reneka and Reneka is the yin to my yang. She's my business partner. She's the left brain part of the operation, which is dope. Hey, my Dr. Kimberly. Thank you, honey. Thank you. But I was like, we are so excited about launching this Newsjack City and the things that we have coming up. Now that I found my balance between Planet Bougie, which is the HBCU production company, and Media Mavericks, like we're back to doing that. So I'm really excited. Now, let's get into it. I had to say that. Adrian said I came in late. Did I miss the theme song? Right? Right, Adrian? I got to come up with a theme song for Newsjack City, right? Somebody got to hook me up with a theme song. So let's get into these headlines. So what Newsjack City? First of all, for those of you who are new and maybe not familiar with the term of newsjacking, let me just break it down. Newsjacking is the art. Hi, my Tanya. Newsjacking is the art. So for the people who are saying Facebook user, just know if I don't call you by name, it's because I don't have your name because of how I'm broadcasting. So, hey, Facebook user who just said hi, TJ. So newsjacking is the art of injecting yourself into a conversation and leveraging what has popped off in the media. Like last week, we talked about the Oscars, and somebody got themselves booked on CBS based on the newsjacking of the Oscars that I put out there. We've had, I had somebody else slid through and told me they got booked on a podcast based on newsjacking, and they wrote a post about their journey with alopecia. So it's hi, Emily, got it. So it all is based on, like, how do you leverage the media for your business, book, and your brand. And newsjacking is that one thing that can get you booked in less than 24 hours. The young lady I told you about the Oscars, she is the one that booked herself in less than 24 hours on CBS. So newsjacking is a very, very powerful tool that, hey, teacher, it's T Renee. Hey, my T Renee. So I'm constantly talking about the power of newsjacking, and that can lead. I think I've given the example of Dr. Sandra, who's a medical doctor. She newsjacked the flu. She ended up having her post shared like 50,000 times. 10,000 people hit her website in one day. So newsjacking really is a powerful, powerful tool. And if you have newsjacked, type it in the comments so that people will know TJ is not full of SHIT, sugar, honey, iced tea. Yeah. Oh, Dr. Kim said, how do you learn how to pitch? Media Mavericks. Yes, you did everything for me. So Dr. Kim is one of my VIP clients where when I take you on as a client, I guarantee that I'm going to book you on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, or CW at least 3 times somewhere in the country. So when you rock with me on that level, I pretty much do everything except show up for the interview, right, Dr. Kim? But the whole program is called Media Mavericks Masters, and that's where I teach you really the mechanics of really proactively pitching. So one of the things, hey, Regina. So one of the things that I wanted to do is start really putting out there, because what I've also learned, guys, and I'm going to probably do a post or something about this, is that a lot of people don't know that they can be in media. Like, I'll never forget, I was at a conference, I was speaking, and because, I'm TJ and people just like to talk to me and I, give great presentations. I had a young man come up to me and he just wanted to meet me, but he was like, no, I'll never do media because my business is boring. I was like, well, tell me about it. And he said, well, I'm an insurance agent. I was like, are you kidding me? And I just started laying out how he could actually, get himself in the media. And he was like, oh my God, I never thought of that. So I want to start helping, other people who are not even seeing themselves in the media to look at how they can position themselves. And so newsjacking is one of those things. And so one of the things I want to do is just go over some of the headlines that have happened. They have some of the headlines. I see you, Dr. Kim. Some of the headlines that have happened that you can take it and leverage it and apply it to you. So I'm going to share my screen, and I hope my screen works better this time around than it did the last time. So if I do this, I'm going to share just this window. Hopefully it's doing that thing again. Anybody know in StreamYard of how you get it to not do the cascading? I can't stop the cascading of that. It just did. So let me see I'm gonna have to, what if I do entire screen? Does that help it? No, it's still doing the cascading thing that it does. I don't know. Hey, Miss Rochelle. All right, so we're going to have to do like we did last week. I'm just going to go tab to tab because I don't know how to stop it from doing the cascading. Somebody remind me to email tech support about that, because I forgot that's what happened last week. That is doing for Instagram. You can't see my screen, but it's doing this cascading thing where it's multiple windows, and I don't want that. So we're just going to have to do tab by tab. So let's start this one. Okay, so this story, I did Brittany. That's what I did first. I tried to select the window, not the whole screen, and it still did the cascading. That was the first way I did it. That's the way I normally do it. So I don't know what that is that caused that. So can y'all see my screen? Wait, y'all should be able to see my screen now. Can y'all not see my tab? Okay, so y'all should be able to. Okay, so yeah, I'm seeing it here that my screen is shared. So one of the headlines, and let me switch over for Instagram so you can be a part of this too. One of the headlines is, come on. What happened? Hold on. Okay, there it goes. Is America has a retirement crisis, and here's how Congress wants to fix it. So this is for my people who are finance advisors, the people who are the finance advisors, who are money managers and all of that. Definitely read this article and see what Congress has done, so that Delmar says you can see it. Yes, I can see your screen. Okay. So that you can actually inject your expertise into this conversation. These changes that Congress is making, how does that impact us? These changes, what is happening with retirement? So your pitch will be around laying out, first of all, what is the crisis? Like, what is the crisis that we're facing? But then after that, then then explaining what Congress has done, what they've rolled out. And then is there anything, solutions of what people need to do or don't do? Do you, like, for the next 5 years, don't move any money around, for, whatever that is for you. That is how you inject yourself into the conversation. And so, for example, it wasn't necessarily this, but one of my clients, one of my VIP clients, is Lacey Robertson, who was dope at mortgage banking. So when I pitched her, we pitched her around the money that Biden had just released to help those who were in danger of losing their homes at the foreclosure. Okay, Shaquana. Okay, so Shaquana says, I am a personal finance coach. So this news article would be a perfect pitch. Then, baby, get to pitching. Get to pitching. And I'm trying not to be loud because I'm at my friend's house, but y'all know I get excited and I start yelling at you. So everybody else yell at Shaquana that TJ means business and she means you to get to pitching. Dr. Kimberly said, and how does retirement impact women of color since we earn less? Yes. First of all, let me also say this other disclaimer. This is a community that we're building over in Newsjack City. So if I don't cover an angle and you see another angle, by all means, please put it in the chat. And then I actually am going to be bringing people on with me so we can talk in real time at some point, because I want to build this into a community. For those of you who are here, who are in my Media Mavericks Masters class, when we do our Q&A, don't I say this is a community? I am the guide of it all, but you all are each other's potential viewers, listeners, readers, or whatever kind of media you're doing. So I love to hear other people's perspective of this. So when it comes down to, let me see, I have to find news outlets to pitch within Philadelphia. I do plan to pitch. Okay, so let me address that, Shaquana. If you have never done television, Philadelphia is the #4 market. I highly suggest, if you've never have done television, make sure that you do not start in markets higher than number 31. You do not want to make your mistakes in these higher markets. So I would consider pitching markets that are closer to Philly that you can get to, or the smaller markets that actually are not doing in-person interviews. We're still, and this is why Newsjacking is so cool for y'all right now, because news outlets, the media outlets, are still at a point where they're not having people in studio. So you can easily be sitting in Indianapolis and doing media interviews in Albuquerque. Matter of fact, Dr. Sandra did that. Dr. Kimberly is asking, when is the next MMA? MMA is always going. MMA is always going. You can enroll in the MMA course, Media Mavericks Masters, or MMM, but she's speaking of Media Mavericks Academy at any given time. So just know that. Shaquana says, I mean, news producers' contact information. I have never done television before, so that's great advice. Yes, Shaquana, I cannot have you not rocking your interview in the #4 market. And the reason why is like the Good Morning Americas, the Today shows, those kind of shows are looking at the higher markets for content. They're looking at the higher markets for content. So you don't want to start there. All right. So, but I want to see you pitching something, Shaquana. Even if, listen, now that you're over here, we hold you accountable. Even if it's something as your Facebook page or your Instagram or LinkedIn, something where you are leveraging this article. So according to CBS News, America has hit a retirement crisis. Like something that connects you back to what is going on. Because I'm telling you, lots of people get booked just because of what they have posted out on social media, TikTok, what like, that's what I'm saying. So just because if you don't necessarily go ahead and pitch the media, at the very least, Shaquana, at the very least, you need to be writing about this. Okay. So those of you in the chat who know Shaquana, I need you to be a spy, and I need you to keep your eyes on her. Okay. So I expect you to pitch, Shaquana. All right. So that's that. But that's also the same as another article I came across. Did I finish telling the Lacey story? No, because I wanted to give you a tangible example. So with Lacey, she's a mortgage broker. And so when Biden released the new funds and funding and whatever that they were going to put out there, Lacey, I did a pitch around Lacey talking about how to complete that. Shaquana says, I'm in the TSP mastermind. Got you. So that's all. You ain't said nothing but a word. So I did a pitch around her breaking down the mistakes people make when completing these applications so that then their applications get delayed or denied. Same thing here. What are the things that are attached, Shaquana, to if there's money coming, or what are the solutions that you can give the audience? Because the first thing you're going to have to do is make sure you serve that audience. Have them present solutions. Okay. So that's that one. Let me stop sharing since we now have to go through this step by step. I hate that. That I can't find how to not do the cascade so that I can just go from screen to screen to screen. But we're going to make it do what it do. Somebody don't let me forget, though, to email tech support so we can find it out. Okay. So let's look at this one. What's behind lingering COVID brain fog? So this was off of ABC News. News research hints at why cognitive problems may persist after COVID. And speaking of someone who COVID put in the hospital, let me tell you that COVID brain fog is real. Like, there were times I just couldn't function and I thought I was losing my mind because I couldn't function. Now, if you are in the holistic, community, if you're in the medical community, talk about this. What does this look like of having to try to recover from this? Like, the fact that you should be out there talking, because I thought I was crazy. I really did. I thought I was losing my mind. So you should be out there talking about this so that folks know that they're not losing their mind. This is real. These are real symptoms that are happening to people. And that you have to be out there how to combat it, how to survive it. How long does it last? Demystify this for us. Like, how do we, what are some solutions? If you're in holistic medical care, what are the solutions that can help these people? And then in alignment with that, let me stop sharing. I saw another article. Hold on, let me find it. I'm sorry, y'all, that I have to step through these things now. Here we go. This one. So this one, how to exercise after COVID-19, long and exercise science doctors share current wisdom. If this is your lane, even if you are a personal trainer, that's out there, like, what are some of the exercises that can help build? Again, my lung capacity is still haven't recovered. Like, I can barely do any kind of exercise before I'm not gasping for breath. Hey, Stacy, my HGC. This is my first Newsjack session. You are amazing, girl. HGC in the building. Hi, my Stacy. We go way back. So, hey, my Leona. So along the same lines, like, what what exercises can be done that will strengthen your lung capacity, and how to do it in increments? And if you are a fitness trainer, this is good because it's a what we call a demo segment. News loves demo segments, like where you actually are physically getting to walk people through some things. So those kind of two, the previous one about the brain fog and then the exercise, they go hand in hand with the same kind of people of really putting yourself out there and helping people combat this. What does this look like? What are some of the lingering effects? I would start like a pitch if you're in the medical field, and by all means, you are more than welcome to share this with people that may not be here, but are also I'm touching on their expertise. You got to share your TJ. You can't be selfish. Okay. You can't be selfish, Shaquana. Okay. Miss Barbara, you can't be selfish. So, what I want you to do is tell them they need to be out here pitching them. As far as like, listen, I would maybe even start that pitch with, you aren't crazy, you got COVID, or something like that. Something to just get that producer to open that email. Before you write, before you think you're going crazy, consider COVID, or something like that, so that people can actually start knowing, no, this is a byproduct of what has happened within a COVID society that we're in now. All right, so that's that one. Let me stop sharing. I gotta keep stop sharing, coming in and find it, but we're gonna make it do what it do. We're gonna make it do what it do. Let's see. This one. Oh, this is another one for the finance people. So I'm still talking to you, Shaquana, and people like you. So White House to extend the student loan pause through August. So that's right in alignment kind of with what I was giving the example of my client Lacey and the mortgage part. So, Audrey says, what market is Seattle? I don't know, but don't let me forget to look it up for you. I don't know offhand. I don't know all the markets off the top of my head, Audrey. But this is another one that's along the alignment with the retirement crisis. What does this mean? Is there any other new paperwork that needs to be completed? How do you cross your T's and dot your I's about, what is these new requirements? Like, you don't necessarily have to be the expert in that, but at least inject yourself into the conversation of how to do it, what to consider. Who should be, Shaquana, who should be paying off their student loans, even though there is a freeze? I'm not saying any side is better than the other. And that's why I forgot that disclaimer. Listen, when I do these newsjacks, I couldn't care less what side of the fence you're on the issue. That's not my job. That's not the role here. The role here is how I show you how to inject yourself into the conversation. Now, what I want you to have is a strong opinion about it. I want you to be real clear about your lane of genius and how you're going about adding it into the mix. All right. So Shaquana says, I saw that today about the student. So when you saw it, did you think, I need to newsjack that? Dr. Kimberly, Audrey got you. She said, I Googled, it's 12. There you go. So Seattle is number 12. So with Shaquana and any of the people who are in this space, if there's paper, let me tell you something. One of the best newsjacking angles is always how to help people avoid mistakes when it's something that really could, and Audrey says, strong opinion, not my issue. How to help people avoid mistakes when there's something really universal at stake, like filling out mortgage paperwork wrong can delay your loan by 2 months, 3 months. If there's paperwork for the student, having your student loan frozen, make sure you don't say this, or make sure you don't disclose that, or disclose this, but it's whatever that is within legal ethical bounds. I'm not telling you, but position it like insider tips of helping people. They love that stuff. All right. So let me see what else I got. What other headlines did I pull? Oh, I love this one too. So this one was for my parenting people and mental health people. TikTok brain. And as a person who consumes TikTok a lot, I can say this definitely is true. So the Wall Street Journal is covering why some kids seem hooked on social video feeds. And then if you scroll down to, let's see, here we go. If you scroll down, you can see the first few lines. Remember the good old days when kids just watched YouTube all day? Now that they binge on 50-second TikToks, those YouTube clips seem like a PBS documentary. Many parents tell me their kids can't sit through feature-length films anymore because to them, the movies feel painfully slow. Others have observed their kids struggling to focus on homework. So, as a parenting expert, as a mental health expert, as a children's book author, whatever that is for you, talk about it. How do parents actually wean their kids off of TikTok? Is it possible? What strategies need to be put in place so that your kid can still be social media active, but don't have the attention span of a gnat? Is that possible? How do we do it? Step by step. Yolanda J asks, what outlets do you recommend we jack from? Clarify that for me, Yolanda. What do you mean, what outlets do you recommend? Clarify that question for me so I can answer it. Shaquana says, I didn't think about Newsjack in it, but I thought about writing an article for CNBC as I have a come on now. That is Newsjacking. You are stretching my thinking and opportunities tonight. Yes, that's it. That's what Newsjack City is. So are you talking about like the Associated Press, Wall Street Journal? Make sure you look at reputable sites. Make sure, and if the site seems a bit questionable, make sure you look at other sites. Yes, okay, that's what I thought. Make sure you look at other sites to see if you see the story. Like I usually check 3-4 sites. And one day we'll spend the day just walking down some of the do's and don'ts of newsjacking, but that's not what this is right now. But make sure you do the sites that are reputable. You know, when you quote them, you know, in your pitch, that people be like, oh yeah, okay, CNN, and they can go to CNN and look at the article themselves, because a good journalist is going to vet your source. So make sure you use those kind of sites that they can easily vet the source. So did I finish what I wanted to say? Yes, Janine said, are you saying make sure it's not fake news that is posted on social media? Do not quote social media. Do not quote social media as your source necessarily, unless the newsjack is something that is happening on social media. What I mean by that, and another example of somebody who booked themselves in less than 24 hours, is that when we found out that the Russians were behind that app that everybody was using to age themselves, when we found out, that was on social media, right? But still, you want to actually cite sources that can be verified. But she actually, Natalie Goucher, did a newsjack, pitched, I forget what station, but she was sitting there on TV less than 24 hours, because I put it out there that parenting people, social media experts, social media, that's another one. Social media experts, you know, who can speak to the psychologists, who can speak to how social media impacts the brain to be able to then process listening to something longer than 15 and 20 seconds. Okay. I just lost my train of thought. What was I going to tell y'all? But yeah, she ended up on TV less than 24 hours because she's a social media expert. And I had put out there Newsjack, the parental controls that need to be checked on and set in all of your kids' social media apps. I think that was the angle that I put out there. She got booked. Somebody, my Facebook user says, as a psychologist, I love it. I can't see your name, but if you're a psychologist, I need you to jump on this. I need you to jump on this. Heck, I need you to jump on this from even an adult perspective, how this is happening, but leverage the heck out of that. It came from the Wall Street Journal. Okay. So that's that. Let me see what else we got in our headline hooks. Are y'all liking this? Tell me, is this helpful? Is this helpful? And then also, if you see something that you think, Tej, I think somebody can really news check this, slide it to me. This is a community. Slide it to me so we can talk about it. But let me know if this is helpful. And then if you haven't already, I don't know if Marla's here. There's two people before I go to the next one. There's two people that submitted my expertise form on Newsjack City. So I put up a form. So those of you who think you are going to, okay, so Janine says this is helpful. I never ever thought to do this. Yes, that makes me happy. So I put an expertise form so some of you can go over and complete the form so I'll know who I'm talking to. So that when I'm looking at headlines, I'm thinking of you in mind. So there was a Lisa Cohen. So Lisa, if you're here, identify yourself for me. But if not, I'm hoping you're going to listen to the replay. You filled out the form. You told me that you're a specialist in helping women who have chronic illness. Well, in July is Chronic Illness Month. You need to be killing it all over the place. No excuses. July is Chronic Illness Month. I looked that up just for you. So make sure, and then any other chronic illness awareness months that you can latch on to, you need to be blowing it up. Second person, Marla Pruitt, you submitted your form about the baking and your cake lines of cake mixes. Summertime is coming. People are going to be baking, doing barbecues or whatever. I would do, because I know also you are a baker, I would pitch demo segments of you making something for Easter, you making something for Mother's Day, and using your cake mixes as an example. But I would actually leverage not the cake mixes per se, Marla, but you as the brand. And that you start putting out there, pitching these different cooking demonstration segments. Like last week when I demonstrated Andrea Harrison, who she would do tablescapes for the different holidays. That's the same thing you could do, is put yourself out there on doing these demo segments. Shaquana says, let me read some of these. Yes, very helpful. Quick question. So I should pitch markets that are 31 and greater. Yes. Also, who should I pitch to? A news producer? I plan to do some research tonight to find contact information. Shaquana, slide over to newsjackthat.com if you have not already. That's the best way to answer. Go over to newsjackthat.com, download my free guide, and I will walk you through newsjacking way better than I could do in the time that we have here. Oh, wait, Tanya asked something. I have Newsjack, but been wanting to talk to you about this. I want to talk about PTSD. Chris Rock suffered from childhood trauma. And in that moment, you could see his fight or flight response. As a gun violence survivor and somebody that spent time in a witness protection program, I want to talk about my book, Dealing with PTSD and Identifying Your Triggers. So the first thing I want you to do is eliminate that I want to talk about my book. Media's not interested in that. Where you got me, though, is talking about the power of PTSD. You still probably have a good week, maybe two, to leverage the Chris Rock angle. You maybe the 2 weeks is going to be pushing it for this news cycle, but you can be out there talking about it from how to cope with PTSD. For sure. That's good. I'm glad I happened to see that. So this is helpful. Can I have your website to see how I can participate in the service? Yes, go to newsjackthat.com. Newsjackthat.com. That's where you will just start. And then just keep staying tuned because I got stuff coming. Okay, so that's that one. Let me see what else I got that I pulled for you. Here's another good one. Okay, wait. Let me share this. Let me share this screen. I forgot I pulled this one. And some of y'all gonna laugh about what I'm getting ready to say, but it's true. This was in People. Kendall Jenner on how she creates a more positive mindset when suffering from intense anxiety. My psychologist, my psychiatrist, my mental health experts, my medical experts. Okay, so y'all should be on this. I mean, so what I'm getting ready to say here. This is for everybody. I don't care if you love them, like them, hate them. I don't care. Anything with the Kardashian name, Newsjacket. Newsjacket. Can somebody repeat that? Newsjacket. Anything with the Kardashian name, please Newsjacket. Shawana says, oh Lord. Yes, and here's why. It gets you booked. I did a Newsjack. This was several years ago. Y'all remember when Kim Kardashian came out rocking boxer braids and everybody was mad because she was, culturally appropriating what we know to be cornrows. And so I'm like, I get it. I'm a Black woman. I get it. However, don't get mad, Jack. So I put it out there. That, listen, for all you hairstylists, don't be mad at this. Jack it. Pitch how to get the Kim Kardashian look. What's her name? Shauna. I think that's her name. My mind, if you listen to me right now, please forgive me because my mind is gone blank. But she pitched Fox St. Louis and got booked. She was on like 2 days later showing viewers how to do the Kim Kardashian look. Leona says, I was mad with her braids. We all were. But, oh, thanks, Audrey. But they can just go to newsjackcity.com. That'll make it real easy. That'll go just to newsjackcity.com. I made it super simple. But if this is your field and she's coming out saying she has anxiety, somebody else came out saying they suffer. I forget recently, but jack the heck out of that. What do people need to be doing? Because what Kendall has done has just now made it normal. So everybody wants to talk about it now. So make sure, and this is for any brand of yours, if it's got something to do with the Kardashians, don't be mad. Just leverage and jack. I'm telling you, it works. All right, so that's that one. Let me see if I have any more. Hold on. Let me just step through these since I've got to go. Okay, I did that one. I did the TikTok. What's this one? Okay, I did that one. Did that one. What's this? Let me make sure I did this one. Okay. Okay, that's that one. Okay. So I'm not going to show the articles. I'm just going to touch on, because I still don't have a clear Newsjack idea, but I think there's something there. So the AP talked about, with students in turmoil, U.S. teachers train in mental health. Again, that goes back to the kid and the child psychologist angle that was just put out there. The teachers are now being trained to deal with the leftover, the fallout from COVID and, the virtual school and whatnot. And what was the other one I saw? Tiger Woods is, I didn't know it, y'all may have known this, but Tiger Woods has had an accident February 2021 that really impacted his leg, shot his leg. So he's wearing special shoes. So if you can actually go through and break down, what that means for Tiger, his endorsements, or even, for people who have injuries like Tiger's injuries, how you can actually leverage that for the kind of shoes you need to be buying so that you can still be active. That's what came, off the top of my head initially. And then the last one is 15 states threaten legal action against Biden administration to protect the integrity of women's sports. So attorneys, if that's your lane of genius of how you can, submit to this conversation about your take on it. What does it mean? What does the bill really mean? What is Biden really trying to do? What, the public has one interpretation, but he really is not saying that, or he's saying this, but what it really means is this, whatever side that is. Dr. Kimberly said teachers are also resigning due to mental health. Absolutely. Delmar said just finished the forum on Newsjack City. Good. Tamika saying, what about marriage? What do you mean, what about marriage? You posted this, so I forgot what I said. Did I say something that you want me to connect back to marriage? I don't know. If you're saying, what about marriage? Go over to newsjackcity.com and complete that form and tell me more about your brand that's connected to marriage. Is that what you're meaning? But was that helpful, y'all? Hopefully that was helpful. Angela says this is also an equity conversation. Listen, you sometimes have to get creative. on how you know, approach this. That's what's so cool about newsjacking. You can figure out whatever angle that people, and here's the thing, what I love about it, you can create whatever angle because you know your brand better than anybody. You know how, you know, something I may not, you know how it connects. And so that's why with my VIP clients, they know they got to be keeping me abreast as to what's happening in their industry, because I don't know. And don't assume a producer knows just because it made the news. And then the last thing I want to say before we say good night is I just had my train of thought. Wait a minute. That watch the news in your area, because I may not see, like, what if you live in Cincinnati and Cincinnati has had some kind of major crisis that I may not see when I'm looking at national headlines? That means you can jack it. So make sure you watch your own media so that you can be on point of how you can just shoot a pitch to your local media. Janine says, okay, so start putting your questions in there for me if you have questions. I want to jack the story about the pay equity legislation in Florida. Do I have to live in Florida? No. If I want to talk about it on a Georgia station, can I still pitch it? It's also a great national story. Now I got to do it. I've been thinking about this for 2 weeks. Janine, you can pitch whatever you need to pitch. What's the worst that can happen? And keep in mind, producers don't necessarily know it's a problem. Producers don't know it's a problem until you bring it to them sometimes. So you can pitch whatever you want to pitch that feels worthy, that people need to get out. Now, but when you do the pitch, you got to position it that so the producer sees it's a problem that they need to actually bring it up for their viewers. That's always the key. You got to make sure it's positioned so that they know it's a problem and not just something that you want to actually come on and talk about, but versus how does this really serve the viewers? All right. So with that said, that's our first official Newsjack City. I'm so excited. I love doing this. Emily says, I love that we can be creative on the various angles of our lane of genius. Absolutely. Because a producer may not have thought it that way because they're not you and they don't know your lane. Shaquana says, what is the ratio of landing a statement based on the number of pitches you submit? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. You have to pitch a lot, but then sometimes you don't. If the right newsjack, like in our mastermind, Cassandra Bowler, she had pitched them before, but it wasn't until she pitched from the newsjack and Oscar angles that I suggested that she actually got booked. So I've had people, the lady who I told you about, the Kim Kardashian look, she pitched and got booked immediately. So that can just depend on, the market, the need, the whatever. There's a lot that can, go into that. With my clients, I've had one pitch get booked on ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox off of one pitch. I've had pitches where I've had to keep going in different directions. So it really just depends. Audrey says, I have missed you. Now I'm thinking how I need to weave money into conversations. That's what I'm thinking. And I thank you for missing me, Audrey. It has been a rough road these last few months, health-wise. But I'm back, girl. I'm back, and I'm finding my way to helping people make noise. Shaquana says, got it. I will DM you my progress. Yes, I want to know. That makes me happy. Like, I will scream and run around the house celebrating people that I have never met. But if you use something I taught you to make, because here's the thing. I spent 30 years. I know a lot of people. So a lot of stuff, I'll run it by some of my Hollywood people to make sure, or I'll get them to give me insider information. It is important to me that I leverage that nearly 30 years to help folks like y'all to understand the inside track. You don't need a publicist. You don't need to be a celebrity. That fuels me. And if you've been rocking with me for a minute and you consider yourself one of my tea lights like Audrey will tell you, it fuels me to see people use what God has put in front of me and have helped me birth to help my people win. Let me just say that. Now, Janine says it's good to see the real TJ back. Yes, ma'am, because you've seen the real TJ that was low. Miss Barbara says I will fill out the form. Good. So yeah, if you want me to really, when I'm looking at the different expertise, and I'm expanding my team. I already got a dope team, but I'm expanding my team to start watching headlines, because this ain't something that's small. To start watching headlines for you guys, I need to know, because I don't want to show up here and just be, doing things stabbing in the dark. I want to do headlines that matter, that y'all can go out and newsjack. So the only way I can do that is if I know it. It's on Newsjack City. We're gonna make it clearer right now, Janine, but it's on there. You may not be able to see it easily on your phone, but give me a day or two to have the team fix that, where it's prevalent of easy how to find when you're looking on your phone. So I'm sorry about that, but hey, we launched dirty and we launched fast of putting this out there. So let's count it down. Y'all know how we do. Let's count it down. Anything else you want me to know, say, think about? Oh, Janine said, I think I just found it. In 10, 9, thanks for coming to rock with me. Let's grow this community to be a community unparalleled of how we really help and support each other to serve more people, to get out there. So good to see you, daughter. Hey, Miss Gwen. Where was I? 7. I don't know, where was I? 7. Okay. 6, and I want these to eventually become more interactive. So I'm gonna start bringing people on so we can have real-time conversations as well. 5, 4. Anything else I need to know? See you next Tuesday. Pop culture headlines. Okay, I'll start but make sure you fill out the form, because I go through and look at all the forms before I really start scouring headlines. So make sure, don't expect me to remember that. Okay, so go make sure you fill out that form for me. But pop culture headlines. Okay. What was that? 3. Hi, my Emily. This was great. Have a great evening, everyone. 2, 1. Love y'all. Mwah. I want to see you jacking.